Welcome to our next tutorial about using arrays. In this tutorial, we're going to use a for loop to retrieve data from an array. Let's begin by defining our variable. I as an integer, enter. Now let's create our for statement. For I equals 0, 2. For the second value, we'll incorporate my array. Period, length. The length property of an array gives us the number of items stored in the array. My array holds 6 items. However, because it's zero-based, the loop goes from 0 to 5, or the length of the array minus 1. Hard return. Close the for statement with next, and now we're going to segue into an if statement. If myArray, open parenthesis, I, close parenthesis, space equals space, open double quotations, Bob, close double quotations. Then, hard return. Now let's refer to our list box, lstl1, period, tab key items, period. Add, tab key, open parenthesis, open double quotations, Bob, close quotations, and close parenthesis. Okay, we've got a syntax problem here. Do you see where it is? There's a blue wavy line alerting us to it. I've defined the array as multidimensional, but here I'm using a single dimension. Let me just simplify the array back to a single dimension. Now it looks better. We're going to comment out the message box line as well, and let's run the program. Here the name Bob is added to our list box. Next, let's see how to put values into our array using the input box. Let's begin by modifying our code. We'll right-click and copy. Now insert a couple hard returns. And let's right-click and paste. Now let's type input box, tab, open parenthesis, open double quotations, name, close quotations, space, ampersand, space, open parenthesis, I, space, plus, space, 1, close parenthesis, and close parenthesis again. The value we input in the text box we're going to put in myArray. myArray equals, let's put the I in parentheses. Now let's comment out our if statement. Now let's right-click, copy, and paste this statement here. Basically, we're going to use the input box function to assign the value to myArray. Next, we'll use the for loop to retrieve this data, and using the add method, we're going to add this data to the list box. Here's the prompt, name1. Let's enter name1. OK. Name2. OK. And name3. OK. And all 3 entries appear here in my list box. Let's get back to our script. Let's break our program into 2 steps. We're going to use a second button. And let's label it Paste to List Box. We'll change the length a little by dragging the handles. And double-click. Now let's highlight this block of code and simply drag it here. We need to do one more thing. We've got to make these variables global variables for this form. so they apply to both click events. MyArray has to be global because it's used in both event procedures. Variable I can be local for each event. For example, like this. Copy, and let's paste it down here. Now we've got MyArray visible for the entire form because it's declared as a global variable, with I declared as local variables in each event procedure. Let's run our program. Add, name 1, OK. Name 2, OK. And name 3, OK. Now let's paste this data into our list box. And this concludes our tutorial about using arrays. We're going to be picking up arrays again in our next lesson.